We humans love to bend everything and everyone to our preferences and our experience of the world, be it other people or animals. But since I'm a canine behavior consultant, I will be specifically talking about dogs in this video, but it could easily be any other animal. We are coming up with these complex solutions to better understand dogs, but we are choosing a very interesting way of doing it. Instead of observing the dogs and learning from them, we are too focused on human perspective. How would we do this? And so we are training dogs to perform these actions, behaviors that have nothing to do with their natural behavior in order to understand them from our human perspective. And that perspective has nothing to do with dogs. For example, training dogs to press specific buttons for specific words. For example, pressing the button that says food when they want food. Is that really necessary? Isn't it clear enough when our dog is looking at us, going to their bowl or to the fridge at a specific time of the day? Why are we so hell-bent on inventing this time-consuming, complicated training processes that are totally unnecessary? If we only would be willing to observe the dogs, learn about them, how they communicate, because the information is out there. And I will be linking a free course on canine communication here and in a description of this video. We really underestimate the impact of learning about how others see and experience the world. It broadens our own perception of the world. We grow because of it, because our experiences and consequently our beliefs about the world are very limited. If we insist that only our own beliefs are the right ones and everyone has to adjust to them, we are missing out on so much. And it's also a place where prejudices and misconceptions live. When we better understand dogs in general and our dog in particular, we see what they are capable of. They don't need us to tell them what they can and cannot do in order to coexist safely and peacefully in a world run by humans, because they are more than capable of doing that on their own. The roots of what we now know as training go back to the 18th century, and dogs have been domesticated for between 40 and 15,000 years, depending on how the domestication is defined. But that's a long time that we've shared lives together where training did not exist. And if the dogs were truly this disruptive, dangerous, maladjusted species that needs humans to control their every step, they simply would not exist anymore, because humans would ban them from living in our proximity because they'd be too big of an inconvenience. And we know how intolerable we are to everything that inconveniences us. I think that the question, how I get my dog to listen to me, is one of the most common. But before we ask ourselves or search for advice on this, I think we should take a step back and think about a couple of things. What's the motivation behind it? Are we coming from a place of safety, concern, and care, or we think we should hold power over dogs? What are we asking the dog to do? Is it a realistic expectation for our own individual dog and dogs as a species? Are we truly asking, or is this more of a demand? How do we feel when the dog says no? Is listening a one or two-way street in this relationship? Do we listen to our dog too? Answers to the question, how do I get my dog to listen to me, are usually very human-centric. Dogs will do a lot of things that we want them to do, even to their own detriment, which is a pretty horrible trait to have if you share a life with a species that always wants more and is so power hungry as we humans are. And those two traits are deeply ingrained in the mainstream dog training industry. They are even praised. So no wonder you've never felt aligned with the answers you got if those two traits are not something you aspire to in your life and in the relationship with your dog. If you care equally about your dog listening and your dog being listened to, you are in the right place. This is something I discuss a lot with my clients, and they are not always an easy conversations to have because the toxicity of the mainstream dog training industry messed us up pretty bad, making us feel guilty that we or our dog are the problem for the difficulties we are facing, when in reality, the answers they provide cause more harm than good in the first place and are the reason why things are not getting better. Training methods, be it positive or negative reinforcement, will never blame themselves for not working. It's always the guardian's or the dog's fault. Always. But don't believe this lie you've been fed, because creating a peaceful, normal life with your dog where your and your dog's needs are met is more than possible. I offer free discovery calls where you can learn more about my work and how I can support you and your dog. Just write me at this email and we will set up a time that works best for you. See you in the next video.